Welcome, my name is Tushar and this is StarMade. The last episode we left off with this ship design with the main hull basically complete, and we're trying to finish it this episode. So we're going to build the interior, add systems and weaponry, and then it should be done. But first, let's take a look at some cool toys. This is a neat little idea I had to simulate space traffic. I was just wondering if we could add some animations to a space station, at least if it's a large space station, that would indicate that there was traffic going on from, personal traffic basically, from one side to the station to the other. Well, this is the idea I came up with. It's a sci-fi road with, well, as you can see, cars traveling along it. Not that fast, but there are possibilities to make them faster. I basically took a very basic Minecraft model of a car, then made it a bit more sci-fi with floating wheels. So it's floating along this road, and I think it looks like it is actual traffic. Like I said, not fast traffic, but it is traffic. And the other thing I wanted to show is this thing. I've shown this ship before. This is the Black Star. I built this hull design to accommodate a particular drone that one of the server members developed. But I had the desire to develop my own drone and develop my own systems for this ship. So I did a build for it with the interior, at least system-wise. So the wings still work the same, so they fold out like that. But now if you look in the back, you can see that the wings are filled with drones. And these are extra functional drones, so they have weaponry and other needed systems. And if we go to build mode for a second, after we press this button, you can see that the drones will launch from the wingtips, and there's a lot of them. So this is a ship perfect situated for creating a minefield, and then everybody that enters this area of space will be attacked by the drones, at least if they're an enemy, of course. And those are the last ones, I think. Yeah, they are. So yeah, now the wings are empty, and these are all the drones that were launched from the ship. It's quite a lot. So yeah, those were two small ideas I worked on as well. Mostly of the time I do have multiple projects going, but focusing mainly on one ship to complete it, in this case this one. But if I have other ideas, then I try them out, and sometimes they work for a complete ship, and sometimes it's just basically throwaway project to see if an idea works or not, and I can use it later. But we're going to continue on this ship. Like I said, the interior is still empty and very, very dark. Yeah, as you can see, there's plenty of space inside to work with, but nothing going on at the moment. So that's going to be our next step. But before we go into the nitty-gritty of the interior decoration itself, I started adding the exterior turrets to the ship. So the AMS, it's the standard AMS I usually use on my ships, and I had these ball turrets. These are configured for missiles, and they're basically the same in power as the missile turrets on that ship. So that should work out equivalent with the design over there. The same at the bottom, so it's basically mirrored, and this will give the ship its primary defense against missiles. I haven't done anything with the main weaponry yet. I showed you last time that I added the at least the weapon points here at the front. So I have to see how I can add the main systems to this main body in the middle. I did do some work on the side pods to see if I could get an interior going over here. So the idea is to create this spacious cabin on the side pods that basically VIP passengers could use. So we've got 2 double beds, and then we've got the central area over here that connects to the main ship. And then a table and some chairs over here for people to sit. Yeah, I think I'm going to change it around a bit because at the moment this area in the middle is basically empty, so that's lost space. It's not used except for entering the ship over here. I did start adding the airlocks in the ship, the main ship, but yeah, that's it. Still only the bridge and those airlocks are here, so not much else. I did some additional work on the back of the engines of the ship. I had these stripes going in the middle over here in the first version, but I changed that to a a different shape, at least a rounded bit here in the middle with the light in the middle. And I think that worked out a bit better. I liked it a bit more as an engine design, as an engine nozzle. I also added these red lights. In my imagination, these are more sublight engines, while the main engines at the sides are for the actual power to get up to full speed. And it gives a bit more length to the ship as well. It's not as flat in these engine sections as the first version was. I also started adding a bit more to the interior. So if you go to the bridge, we exit over here into this area over here. And I created a small seating area on both sides. It's not lit up correctly yet, just some temporary lights. But this sitting area is mainly for the crew, and perhaps some of the passengers can sit here as well, but for the crew mostly. Then some control areas over here, I think, with computers. Then we continue on to the section with the airlocks for the side pods. I also started adding lighter blue hull to the outer design to give it more in line with my fleet style that I've got going with the blue ships. So it adds a bit more contrast to the blue paneling. Added some lights here and there, like this one, and to the side on the wingtips. And basically at the bottom, it's something similar. I am thinking of adding some more blue in this gray area over here because it's a bit too sudden now, I think, the drop from the blue to the gray. So I'll have to experiment with that for a bit. And I think that that looks better. Not a whole lot with the interior going on except for layout. It's a bit dark over here, so let's create some lights. I continued the layouts over here. Then we will continue with a hallway on this end, all the way over here. And then we will end within a area for the engine core and the controls. I did the same thing with the Martin for the cargo area in the back over here. And we can also control that, of course, from our hotbar. And then this area in here in the middle will house a sleeping area for the crew and a bathroom for the crew. And this area will most likely be some sort of kitchen area. So the crew and the passengers area, the side pods, they will be completely separated if at all possible. It is of course possible to mingle, but it isn't really needed. So the main body is for the crew and the side pods is for the passengers. I've slowly started to add some more logic to the ship as well to make it work. So now the doors in the back open and close, and this will provide space for 2 drones. And this is why I showed the Black Star as well, because I'm going to use 2 of the drones the Black Star carries as well. So it's a, if I remember correctly, 9x9 round drone. So I should be able to fit 2 of those in here. And like I said, I'm able to control the door from this end as well. So now it's closed. It's the same as I had before. I worked a bit on the side pods as well, changed the interior. The bedroom is basically still the same with the 2 beds, but I changed the middle area to the seating area. And we've got a nice couch and table, some chairs, and a button to well, not exit the ship. But if I aim correctly, no, can I do it? Now I can. Of course I can't. This is a separate entity. I'm stupid. Never mind. It controls the lights. And this area is now a bathroom. So we've got this shower cabin over here. And this is now a complete apartment, basically. A separate apartment for a VIP crew or perhaps passengers or VIP guests. Yeah, the rest of the interior I still need to work on. It's a bit dark, but we'll work on that. Well, I have been working on the interior some more, and I've been slowly adding the main systems as well. Incorporated some of the working computers here in the floor near the captain's chair, and added doors and more lighting and interior details. This is, for example, the control area that controls the jettison of the side pods, the passenger pods. So if you have really troublesome guests, then you can just press this button and they're gone. Okay, that's not the intention, of course, but basically it's easier to swap them out if you jettison them like that. And then we continue on to the sitting area over here. I showed you already, but a bit more lit up, a bit nicer looking. To the area with the airlocks. And then over here we have our small kitchen area with a very large salt and pepper shaker. And then we have the hallway over here that has an entrance to the bathroom for the crew. And over here we have a room with bunk beds for the crew, so they can sleep over here. And then we continue over here. We've got a teleporter, because we need one, and the main engine room, and the controls, of course, in the back. Yeah, there's not a lot more to the interior than this, because it's not that large a ship, and it's a ship that still needs a lot of room for the main systems. And as you can see, a lot of it is already filled in. Not everything yet. I've got a lot of room over here. And this area over here that is still empty will be mainly power and shield regen. Because as far as systems go, the main systems of the main ship at least, I wanted to at least be comparable to the ship that inspired this build. So it's got a bit more shield capacity. It will have a lot more shield regen. The power capacity is lower, but there's 2 main reasons for that. The main weapons of the ship, at least that the original one had, included in this case I put it on the front over here, a nuclear missile. And these take a lot of power to fire. And in this case it was a nuclear missile with 100% explosives effect as well. I reduced that to 50% because yeah, those missiles are slow They shot down really fast, and they're basically only useful if you have a stationary target that's already basically defenseless. So I didn't see a need to have a 100% effect, explosive effect on the nuclear missile anyway. So 50%, that's okay. I needed less power capacity for that, so I have more room for other systems. Yeah, the other main weapons are basically the same. I'll show that in a bit when we installed everything. But they will turn out to be a bit more powerful than those on that ship, because I had a bit more room on the ship anyway. So I could add more to the grouping for the main power main weapon systems. Oh, one last thing to add. These are the drones I added to the cargo hold over here. Like I said, there's 2 of them, and they fit perfectly within the hold. So that worked on just fine. And this was the last thing I needed to add to the ship design itself, because all the systems are added now as well. As you can see, there's no empty space anymore. And if we grab our interface, I can show you a bit more. As you can see here in the left bottom of the screen, we've got a little bit more than 1.3 million shield capacity. We've got 18.9 K shield regen. I think the original one had 15, so that's more. And the power is 2.5 million. I think the original was 3.5 or 3 million, something like that. But we at least doubled our power regen. So it's a bit more power output. It is a heavier ship. It turns out to be about 8,500 with rails. That's heavier than that ship, but our ratio of the thrust and mass ratio is still 1.2. That's the same as the original design as well. So I think I kept to the original specs of the ship and the original goal of the ship. At least I hope so. And now let me show the weapons a bit. We've got our main cannons here at the front. Then we've got our shield drain beams. These are a bit different configuration than the original ones, because I added a beam effect to it, so they have a longer range. Because the original ones, they didn't have the effect, just the beam, and that's it. Then we of course have the missiles, one on this side, get shot down immediately by the AMS of the next ship, and this one, and of course the heavy one. And like I said, oh, doesn't get shot down. That's surprising. That's really surprising. Usually it gets shot down immediately. We've got a radar jammer that works even in flight and fighting. So the power is more than enough for that. And then we have 3 controls for the pods to jettison them, and the bay doors in the back. We can close them of course, and to release the drones. And the other systems like thrust and jump drives are added as well. So it can fly around and fight and do all the things it needs to do. Let me show really quick when it is flying. You can see the really nice glow of the engines. It worked out really well. I really like this feature of the game. Yeah, looks great. Now, if we stop the ship for a bit, we can also show how the drones work. Let's brake and come to a full stop. And the drones, here we go. And there they go. Yeah, that's the problem. Every time something undocks, then yeah, you get this camera that jumps back to the core. Well, can't do anything about it at the moment. Let's close the bay doors, and then I show the position of the pods as well. In this case, there you go. Yeah, and I'm not sure why they do this, but okay, they detach at least. And now we have our ship without the side pods. Oh, and I didn't show you that before, but I did add the blue pinning at the bottom here. So it's a bit more blue in the gray area. It's a bit better if I roll the ship around a bit. Other way around. You can see it a bit better in the light. I think it's a bit more tying in the gray area with the blue in the back. So that worked out pretty well. So yeah, I think this ship is done for now. I still need to do some testing on the server, and I'll probably add a copy to Gary's Fleet, so he can test it as well, and then give me some feedback for perhaps some bugs, like detaching the pods in the weird way it does, to iron those out. And then when that's done, I'll probably post up a release of the ship. Oh, and I didn't show you the front docking area yet, correct? That's this area. You come in here, and then you've got an elevator over here. You can press this button or on the elevator itself. Then you come out into the bridge over here. So that's the same as the original design as well. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my build, and let me know what you think, and we'll see you next time.